So, after you're done with Meryl the stylist, you're walking down a couple more hallways, and you run into Serena, who is Ari's aunt and the Minister of Finances. She has her curled hair in a loose bun and looks down at a ledger in her hand. She has this like deep purple dress that goes to the floor. It has a slight train. The top is fitted at the natural waist, and there's a small raised collar that extends around a scooped neckline. You can easily determine that was designed by the Meryl.
Yeah, the Meryl.
The Meryl.
The Meryl.
It's a Meryl.
The Meryl. That's really all she is. She's her own breed of person.
Yeah. And she stops and says, "Oh, good night, Ari. How are you?"
I gotta go fix the chamber thing.
Oh, well. Not everything we do is fun, but I'm sure you can find a way to make yourself entertained.
Oh, I'm sure. This is my new friend.
We've met.
Have you met her?
I've met. Yeah, I can't remember it from the other day. It's just like when Ari's just giving her like a conniption, like, the who? Wait a minute, you invite how many?
Yeah, this is the same aunt that was like, you are having a party now?
It's just like the list of needs just kept on escalating, and it's like, okay. Kiara just does her little like slight little bow, like, yeah. Hi.
I heard there were dance lessons. How did that go?
She did well. Splendidly.
It was really cool. She taught Art a new dance.
Kiara just her eyes go elsewhere. Like,
they were both really good, like on fire.
Her ear twitches.
Well, I shall have to see this again. There's not that many dances he doesn't know at this point. She kind of like leans over to Ari. Her mother made sure of that.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of your mother, she's coming later today.
Today?
Yes, well, you were supposed to go to her manor over the past few days, and she pulls out the custody papers.
Yeah.
It says she is allowed to come and visit you if you don't go and visit her on her designated visiting days. So she's coming here. You have a few hours.
Can we, like, postpone it? I have a rendezvous I'm making in a few...
Well, I'm sure your rendezvous can wait for the sake of the entire castle as your mother reigns hell upon it. So, I need to return to, another meeting. Come, and she kind of... She has two assistants with her, and they come after her, and they give polite bows to Ari. Princess, here we go.
Great.
Take it it's not a happy occasion.
Let's not
break her augmentation room too. Kiara trying to be playful. Did you break her augmentation room too?
I don't know. I broke her. She's bad. Let's just go.
Yeah, so you table.
Can we make a perception check on that?
Do you want insight or perception?
Insight.
Insight. Yeah, insight her.
Yeah. It's like odd response. That's a 17 plus 3 is a dirty 20. Discontent with parents. I know that feeling.
There's definite strain between Ari and her mom. There's a and then you caught custody. So with that insight of 20, you can determine that Ari is under the shared custody of Artius and her mom. And there wasn't a dad mentioned? So...
Cheers. Put that
Yeah,
into
you
a
can just
small
kind of
little booklet
store
in
that.
her brain, yeah. Huh. Learning new things every day.
Yeah, and Ari clearly does not want to be with her
Right.
mom. She avoided looking at the manor when you rode by it on the horses. She basically shut down this conversation, so whatever, she doesn't want to touch it.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Let's get up to this augmentation room.
Yeah, so you guys go up, or you get to the elevator. You're used to Hemocraft too, because it's normal. So usually what, like, Arcane Elves do is they actually just prick their finger on, like, their top thing and then, like, write it in. Yeah, so you write in your, the blood seal. It absorbs into the plate, and then you go to the 4th floor. And the door opens to a stone walkway with deep burgundy carpet down the middle, and there's black and silver curtains that hang from either side, various paintings of the landscape. And the two of you come to the
When you're up there, you should stick with me.
Hi.
Yeah, so, like, you pass by...
Small little tight. Hi.
Yeah. You pass by, you pass by your brother's office and his room, and then, like, Fawn's room and Taliki's office, and then at the other end there's the magic study. So inside there, it's just this rectangular room, and it reminds you. Neither of you have been to the Braden estate, so it doesn't remind you of that. But basically, there's just books stacked on top of each other everywhere. They're on various studies. They've been kind of cracked open or open on the spine, or they've been bookmarked. The room itself it has a fireplace that has a low fire going, keeping it warm as it's getting colder. And there's these objects lining the wall in cubbies, and they all have labels on them. So you have been in here. Yeah, you have been in here, and you know that all of those are magic items. One of the desks has notes in several languages across its mahogany top. A plush chair is turned outward, and there's a fish bowl atop a pedestal to it, though there isn't a fish in it. There are actually several other water features in the room. There's like a little fountain in the corner that kind of comes down this pile of rocks. Above you, there are just these orbs that float around, and one of them is filled with water. And you didn't even notice Deirdre, who was just in this ring of books. There's just like stack of books all around her. She kind of pokes her head out. Oh, we're going in the chamber now.
Hi. Kiara just... It's actually kind of nice room. It's cool. Does this like any of this like reminiscent to anything she would have seen when she was doing her mage training?
It might have been, if you've like been in like the like one of the staff offices, maybe similar to that. So like if you ever went to like talk to, the dean or a teacher, then their office would be similar.
Got in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because their office is also their place of study, and like pretty much all mages have some area of study that they want to pursue. Even if they are a teacher or a dean, they have their personal study.
Right.
At this point, Talikia comes in. She's the court mage, and she was with Artius when Ari originally met them. She's not that. And she's older than the rest of... She and Serena are actually older than the rest of them, but Taliki has a crop of like short gray hair, and she just wears very practical clothing. Like it would be the equivalent of like a woman's business suit, except fantasy world.
Nice. She's got like a power suit.
Yeah, she has like a power suit, and then she comes in, and she has like a timekeeper on her wrist. She says, "Well, I have a few minutes. Archie has asked me to brief you on how to do repairs." She just walks by you guys. Let's hop to it. She opens the chambers. There's a bit of an effort as she opens the door. It's heavy. And the totality of destruction is evident.
Kiara nudges Ari, like, impressive. Like, she's so, like, impressive.
Hey?
Yeah, Kiara's impressed by your absolute havoc you've wrought here.
This is a little worse than I thought it would be.
No, boss, it's very impressive.
You didn't see the
actually.
aftershock. So, basically, it's a circular room. At the center, there's a ring, and then another ring, and then another ring. So there's 10 rings, each successively getting bigger. The first one represents, like, cantrips, and then first level spells, second level spells. And then at one point, it hits the rim of the room and actually starts just going up the ceiling. Yeah, and then each ring consists of these perfectly lined tiles that each have a runic symbol carved into them, and runic is a language that is part of the education of upper class arcane elves.
Have I seen it before?
You've seen parts of it before, probably.
Probably just as a brief thing. It was just like, oh, you don't need to know that. You have other things. It's like, all right.
Yeah, like
you only need to know what it looks like so that you can kill whoever's using it.
Yeah.
All right. Fair.
So
Moving on.
Ari knows it because she's an upper class sorceress. And it was a language specifically crafted for spellcraft.
Yeah.
So the first ring, the smallest ring, represents cantrips. First, blah blah blah. Around like the third circle or fourth circle of magic, it hits the rim of the room and starts moving upward.
Mm-hmm.
At the central point where Ari casts her initial planar shift spell, it maintained most of the damage. Nearly all of the tiles have been cracked or are completely gone. The first level is also mostly gone, as well as the second. When you get to the third, that's where it starts to be, there's more like clear sections of, all right, this didn't actually totally break, great. But, you look and there's just this huge like crack that goes all the way up to the top, and then like another pretty big one that goes up to like 6.
Never gonna see Gaius again.
No, we'll make a game of it. Don't worry. Like, Kiara just like, she's actually interested in this, so she's like, no, don't worry, lass. We'll make a game of it. It'll go by in a jiff. Oh, it'll go by in a trine.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's still impressed by the amount of damage you can do. She's like, it's ribbing, but it's like, no. This is assuredly good. Good job. Lot of art. Although it just happened to be a room, so the room's art is sufficiently kicked.
I could just put a major image over this and call it done.
But aren't these places fit to blow if you cast something and it doesn't charge just right?
Something like that. Something like that kind of happened.
So let's try and avoid doing that again. Although, once we get it all fixed, we'll talk about breaking it again, right? She's joking, but then when Tilikia looks at her, she's like, I said nothing.
She just kind of gives you this look, this leveled stare, and you can kind of see where Archie's learned it from. I'm right here.
I'm only joking. I'm only joking, of course. Kira, Demic gets to your house. Please don't look at me.
And this unseen servant brings in this tray of like tools. Like they look like dental tools because they're just these like little picks. And she actually just uses her mage hand to point at them while she gestures. These will have to be removed, and she points to the tiles by hand. and you'll need to use these tools to do so. So what will happen is you'll have to use a skill check to dislodge the tiles. That's like maybe strength or dex or any of these. If you can give me like a good enough reason to use that skill, then I would say yes. Then you'll need to get another tile and use a skill check to put the new tile down and grout it sufficiently. So like another finesse. And then finding the correct symbol would be Arcana or Intelligence, and then etching the tile would be a Dex, Sleight of Hand, or Performance. So, let's start with dislodging the tile.
It's probably a little easy if you have a little elbow grease, right? Just removing it.
Yeah, you put the tools. You can add like proficiency to it.
Oh, fantastic. All right. So we're both doing this?
I mean, it's however you guys want to split it up.
Right. Do you want to tackle the tasks together, or do you want to tackle separate tasks and make, say, a little bit of a competition of it?
Was wondering if you're pretty strong, if you wanted to take the tiles up, and then I could put the new tiles back down.
Ah, teamwork.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. We'll have it done in a jiff. Kiara's just like, okay, you're bummed, and this probably sucks for you, but honestly, I'm just entertained that you can do this much damage.
What am I gonna need in order to do this? Wait, can I use what would I use for the tiles, did you say?
I'd probably use athletics.
You could use like Sleight of Hand or just general dexterity. There's also like Performance.
I meant laying the tile.
Laying the tile was okay. I wrote so this is like a finesse move. Like you want to be like, it's like a delicate placement, and then getting the grout. So I would say dexterity or Sleight of Hand, or if you like really wanted to, maybe you could use like Mage Hand, or I don't know, some sort of a spell to try to like set it. But
or we could do a competition. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
do you want to do a competition? Because I could see doing that. That would be fun. Look at that grade.
Yeah, okay, I was like, alright. Okay, competition. However, rules. Can't break the room more than it's already broken. So, even if it's a competition, can't be destructive competition. Alright? This takes time. It'll take extra time if we break it. And also, I don't think she'll appreciate it. She's just like, and I don't think she'll appreciate it. They're like just murmuring conspiratorially to each other.
Okay.
Alright, fine.
Alright, on the count of 3.
Ready?
1, 2,
go!
3, go!
I'm gonna go ahead and roll an athletics check to pop this thing on the floor. Or, and it's proficiency with anything, yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm
diggity.
I'm gonna do the dexterity with popping them out of...
So,
I got 9.
I already have like never mind, it's +5. So that's a 16 + 5, and then you said with proficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. So 16, 17, 18, 19 + 5 is 24.
Oh yeah, with ease. This.
You
just pry the whole thing up. Just
elbow grease.
All right, what do you got, Ari?
19.
Oh,
yeah.
19 also works. Like it takes you like a little bit to just wiggle it off and remove it. There's like a little bit of the corner that kind of breaks. You have to go back and pry that up. It's a little annoying.
I'm never gonna win this.
Okay.
I'll win.
The next part is putting it down. So you gotta go get a new tile and then grout it in.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever skill you want to try to use for that.
Sleight of hand is 2. So is my performance. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that that's actually about what I can do.
Are you okay? I got a 14. What'd you get? Oh no!
And I don't think I'm proficient with anything, and I only have a dex of 2, so that would be.
Oh, the tools give you proficiency, so
Yeah, you can add
okay.
proficiency.
Okay.
Like, you're 3.
Yeah, 3, so 8.
7.
Yeah. Okay, so Kiara, you got a 17?
Yeah, it's 14 plus proficiency, so that's
Okay, yeah. So, you get the tile, you put it down, and then you take, like, one of the little, like, flat knives, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just put this in here. Takes you a little bit to, like, set it into place. And you're like, yeah, okay, that's gonna work. You look over at Ari, and, like, it's just... There's grout, like, everywhere. It's all over her hands. It's all over the next spot. It's, it's getting on her dress. She's trying to rub it out. It's just getting worse.
Just... And it's like, in, like, the sneakiest way possible, she just puts her finger down so that it stays still. And then she just, like... She makes a gesture, just wipe it off on me, and then just try it again. Just like, it's a competition, but at the same time... I want to be fair. Come on. Just like,
yeah, so roll again.
Okay.
With some help.
Okay, so now I've got 18
Yeah.
in total.
Okay, yeah, with, you look over, you see Kiara's technique, and you're like, oh, okay, okay, but if you scrape off the excess, and then you actually use that to put it into the grout lines, and then smooth it out, and now you guys have 2 successfully placed tiles. Okay.
Right.
And the grout sets pretty quickly.
First round's a practice round. Kiara, first round's a practice round.
Okay.
She just makes this little shake hands gesture, like it's just like, shake it off, it's fine.
So the next part is you have to look at the cantrips and try to figure out like which one is missing from here. So make your Arcana or Intelligence checks to figure out what's missing. Yeah, you could do history. Yeah, I would allow history because you're recalling like a language.
I want this dice.
Also, I've been in here when it was working.
Yeah. That's a 17 in all.
Crud.
Okay.
It's probably because competitions make you kind of like, okay, go. Oh god, you're like freezing up.
In total, I got 11.
Nice.
You're like, I got. What are cantrips again? You're like, okay, cantrips. There's prestidigitation. There's mage hand. There's mending. There's mending.
I'm like,
there's mending.
Kiara, oh, easy.
Poison
Darkness.
Poison spray.
Poison spray. Acid splash.
Are like, are any of those actual cantrips?
I think acid splash is a cantrip. I don't remember.
Yeah. Acid splash. Yeah, acid splash. That was the one that was missing. Acid splash. Ari, you are struggling. So you
I fall behind.
You fall behind, and then Talikia comes over and she says, she just like gives you this reference book.
Don't do that, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends.
It's just like, do better then. Well, maybe you should have paid attention in the lessons I taught you.
Okay, no fireballs inside of the chamber. Sick burns all around.
Because Chalikia was one of the people that would teach you your spells, so she's just like, I know what you're like.
Know what you're capable of, excuse me.
Go see if someone will bring us snacks.
This is not better, I need snacks.
Fine, I'll
Kara can tell that you're like struggling from where you're at, so she just like says to the open air, it's like, oh, hey, we never established what the winning would be. If we or like what the stakes are, honestly. So how about how's about this? If you win, you get to choose an outfit for me. If I win, I get to choose an outfit for you. If and only if the Merrill is jailed for that.
Okay.
Either I teach you a new game, or you teach me a new game.
Deal.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, sees Talikia, look at her, goes back to what she's doing. She's like, you make me nervous. I'm not gonna.
She makes everyone nervous.
She has matron vibes, and Kiara's like,
Yeah, she feels a lot like McGonagall.
Disappointed in us. Oh.
Okay, Self, we gotta do this.
Okay, with the reference book, you have advantage because it's in front of you.
All right. I'm so glad I had advantage. One of them was a 1.
Oh. Well, you don't get that one. What's the other one?
What?
Well, the second one.
What's the second one?
The second one was an 11, so that's 16.
Okay.
That's better? Yeah.
That's better, yeah. With the 16, you're like, it takes a minute where you're like, I just don't need your help, Mom. You know? And then you like,
That's what's got to check out thinking about visiting you, ma'am.
And you almost put down Blade Ward, and then you're like, oh, no, it's right there. So then you look over and you're like, okay, this needs to be Booming Blade. It's alphabet. And then the next part is actually putting the marking down. So we'll do a round of that. So the etching is a dex or sleight of hand or performance.
Performance?
A performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll take performance.
They're both the same for me, so. Ooh, 16 plus 3 plus 3.
22.
Ah, thank you. I'm like, that's math. Those are numbers.
I've got 15 plus 4 plus 3, and I'm not doing 21.
Oh, yeah, both of you, especially with the reference book, you just knock those out, you put the etching pen down onto it, and you get those runes carved out. So, unless you guys want to RP something real quick, we'll go back to Luna and Ellie.
Under her breath, Kiara just like, oh, so much easier without the threat of a lightning of lightning there. Or is why she's good at this. Oh, it's just so hard when you're training and you're just punished for doing wrong. Like, ow. She just mutters it under her breath, and Ari, you probably hear it because she's just like, oh, so much easier without the threat of violence.
Oh, go on, Ari.
What? Threat of violence? Was somebody threatening violence?
He's just like, oh, nothing more than usual. So nothing more than usual. It's just the typical how you learn how to do things.
What?
And Kiara just makes it like sits up, makes a gesture because she's like, how do I normalize this? Army. Army.
I'm definitely not joining the army.
Certainly not. Kiara guffaws, and it's like certainly not. Open mouth, all fangs showing, goes back to what she's doing, giggles the entire time. Certainly not. You're funny, lass.
While you're laughing, Talikia comes back and she says, well, I hope that means you've been successful. And then she looks over and says, good work. And she throws this bag of coins at you, Kiara, and she says, I wanted to make sure you could do it before we paid you. You don't get paid. This is your fault.
You live here.
You live here. She doesn't. Kiara doesn't need to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Girl, my pleasure, Your Highness. And she just... Oh. She has not had money since she left the underground. This is actually this is great.
Yeah, it's great. It's a bag of gold.
She's been borrowing from her friends, so how much gold?
It's like 200. It's like 200 gold.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah.
Just fantastic. Where's my pencil? Thank you.
Yeah, you received, how did I explain it? You'll be receiving the standard wage of a mage of the third circle plus an extra compensation for a rush order. And this is a front pay. We'll cover the next several hours.
Aye. Makes sense, aye.
Oh, and then she kind of like... Then she rolls it up and she's, yep, it's been signed and sealed. And goes back to her work. Alright. Now we're gonna go back. Deirdre also chimes up, I would appreciate snacks. That would be really good. I mean, it's great. Maybe some sugar to get the blood brain going. And Talikia just... She walks out. I'll see about snacks. Alright, so now we're back with Ellie and Luna. Are you guys just gonna keep exploring the castle?
We'll see if we can get lost. And then it'll be a challenge for ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all about that.
Okay. Events are on.
Again,
All
I'm
over
really
that.
familiar with the castle, so I'm
Okay.
You don't want to be late for your lessons. I gotta know where all my classes
You
are.
want to get okay, so you want to get familiar with the castle. The castle has, there's like four floors to it. So you're walking around. You're on, I think this was on like the third floor where actually it would have been I put the garden there. So this was on the bottom floor. You walk out and you get to the training grounds, and it's the middle of the night, so you can see all the soldiers and at least the castle guard, I should say, is outside, and they're doing their exercise, running, obstacle courses. They're in really good shape. And then you can see there's some like sparring rings over there. Off in the distance, they have a couple of those, and you can see Vaughn is there observing them, and you can reasonably assume this is just another part of his job, where he's managing the training regimen of the castle guard. And so yeah, that's what you witness. There is I guess it would be like a viewing box type of thing. There is a ring that is bigger, and then it has a sort of little it has seats around it in case they want to have an audience for a bigger bout. And then there's a box for important people, basically. Try not to make it too high school football stadium, because that's immediately where my brain goes. I'm yeah, there are bleachers and you can watch the track team run. And what's cool is you can see there's horses, and they're being ridden in like some training exercises where they're using blunted weapons to practice cavalry and horse battle. And then there's also, you can see these winged beasts that they look draconic in nature, and they're flying around. You can see that they have riders on them, and you know that about them, but they have like worm riders that kind of like are taken off and flying. And
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't think Ellie has seen actual like worms or
Nope, I don't think she has.
Whoa,
It's been a
that
while for
sounds
me
so
too. Jeez.
I've only read about these. Have you seen these before?
Not in a long time.
I'm gonna go talk to them. I'm gonna run out.
Okay, so
Okay.
you run outside. They
I'm gonna try to get as close as I can to the wyvern. Michael, knows that this is a terrible idea and it's not gonna work. But Ellie does not know that.
Luna's gonna be there as backup.
Okay. Okay.
Luna or the dog?
Oh yeah, wyverns.
Yes.
Yeah, wyverns. That's what they're called.
Yes.
They're called
Yeah.
wyverns. Sorry, I was used to Warcraft wyverns, which look different. But yeah, they have wyverns. Wyvern mounts. Some of them, and probably a smaller variety, because a true wyvern is a large dragon, so like a bunch of people could ride on that. But I'm thinking more of like singular ones. I just need to like find the actual.
Like the ones in Skyrim.
No, smaller. Like
Okay.
the ring wraith mounts, the Nazgul.
Okay.
They're like Nazgul, but like bulkier. At least in so. You approach them, and there's a couple of riders. It's a little cute because like their ears are also covered, so they have like little like ear mittens because it's cold up there. They have like some goggles, and they're trading off pilots or riders, and then taking off and practicing maneuvering in the sky. There's some up there that have a number of javelins or bows, and Ellie, you're approaching, and
Yeah, I'm gonna like if there's like a stable or like a place where they like kind of gather all of like the wyverns.
yeah,
I'm
I'm sure they
I'm
have
gonna
like
try
a
to-
rookery or something.
Yeah.
So you go to the rookery, which is this tower that they take off from, and then like amidst the tower they kind of have these like rooms or stables for them. And you can see them poking their heads out and kind of gawking or making noises, whatever noise they'd make. You I wrote a cool thing. There we go. And Ellie, as you approach the tower, the rookery, there are people are going to work at the rookery because people need to take care of the animals and make sure they're fed and not like eating the horses or something. And there's one, it's an arcane elf, and you've also noticed that like the staff outside is a little more varied. Like in the castle, it's pretty much all arcane elves, except for Meryl, but you haven't met her yet. But outside, it's a little more varied. Like you get half orcs and you get tieflings, and you get like full-blooded orcs and Catalians, and there's like even a handful of like basically like human mutts, like they're mixed with something. So
Elves.
half elves,
half
half dwarves. A bunch of just human mutts. And we'll say that, there's this arcane elf who sees Ellie, and as you walk by, he bows his head and says, Eladrin Sarin.
Oh. Do I know what that means?
Nope.
Wait, does he bow?
He nods at you. It's like a deep nod.
I was like essentially about to bow, and then the words echo in my head. What are? It's like, actually, people curtsy to you when you're a princess. And I'm like, right. Eddie, soldier! And I just keep walking.
It's kind of like straightens, like, okay.
Right.
Alright. And, you come over to, that was just a little, you were like, that happened like 30 feet before the rookery, but now you're at the rookery, you're poking your head inside, there's this tiefling lady inside, and she's shouting at people. She says, I want these saddled, I want these mounted, get those stalls cleaned out, and let's get these babies fed. Giving a bunch of orders. She looks around and sees Ellie, and you're like, are you still wearing a poofy dress? What are you wearing?
Oh. I mean, we had a sleepover. So I guess I would be in,
pajamas.
in my pajamas, of course. No,
You're dancing pajamas all
I
morning
guess
long.
I would be in my
That's great.
regular clothes.
Okay, regular clothes. She looks at you and Luna. Then she says,
And then
oh my gosh. It takes her a minute because she's like, what the heck am I looking at? And then someone whispers to her, and she's like, oh. Approaches. Welcome to the rookery. My name is Chastity. This is my rookery. I have been told you are Princess Ari's guests.
that is true.
Yeah, we had a sleepover.
Good for you.
I mean, I came here on business to inspect the wyverns.
And then she just, alright.
Hey.
We're about to watch. We got a couple of hatchlings coming through. So she she's just like, there's something about to break out of the eggs. So she comes, so she motions you to come over. And there's the wyvern mom, and she has the eggs against her belly and under her wing. And you can start seeing like a little bit of like pecking as a little hand paw comes out, kind of breaks off the shell, and then another one, and its head comes out. Mom comes and coaxes baby wyvern out of its shell. And you can see like its little wings kind of like start to like flap a little as it starts to like crawl on the ground, and of course its eyes aren't open, so it's just like kind of like walking around blindly.
The little whines, like,
yeah, a little whine. And Chastity looks at you. Suppose you want to feed it.
Yeah.
So she gives you. So she nods over towards like there's like some meat. They're like entrails and like the organ meat, and she says, "Well, you're free to throw them in. They'll eat anything, so don't mind your hands." Now we'll have you guys, make some animal handling checks.
okay. I'm gonna give myself some guidance so I don't make an idiot of myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some extra
22.
care.
Oh, solid.
Oh yeah, I rolled really good. So rolled a 25.
Okay. Yeah.
Speak to animals. You are the animal. What are you talking about first?
You know, like, Chastity is used to people kind of just awkwardly throwing the meat at the wyvern babies.
Yeah, I'm trying to like coax them like a little bit.
With
Yeah.
the throwing them beats.
Yeah. But your animal handling is so impressive that, like, the mother wyvern actually, like, invites you to come and, like, feed the babies, and then more of them kind of come out, and you're allowed to, like, hold them and kind of, like, dry them off from their, I guess, like, egg fluid as they come into the world.
These wyverns are really used to humans. It's cool.
Yeah, well, you had a really good
Humanoids.
animal handling.
Yeah.
It was like, over 20. I'm like, yeah, no, they're putty in your hands. Chastity is dumbfounded. She has not seen this before. Says, well, they weren't kidding about druids. And then she looks at the two of you. Do you want to go and ride one?
Oh.
Can I?
Yes.
All right. Come on. You're good with the beasts, I can tell. Hello, this is Tiffany, your DM. Thank you so much for listening to Dungeon Damsels. We really appreciate all your support. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps us out. And if you're interested, we also have a Patreon, as well as a podcast version of our show. You can find it on Spotify, TuneIn, Podcast, Podbean, and pretty much anywhere where podcasts are. Thank you again so much, and we hope to hear from you soon.